welcome. My name is Joe Gonzales. I'm with the City of San Antonio Aviation Department. We are a division of this, or a department with the City of San Antonio. And so if you're interested in doing business with the city, I'm sure you've heard from my colleagues from other city departments. And so our process city-wise is the same. So one, you would have to register as a vendor with the City of San Antonio, and it's advisable so that you can receive the solicitations as they pertain to your NIGP code, because that's how individuals and vendors receive those particular solicitations that are applicable to how they register. And kind of take it from there. And then as items come up that are interest you, you can certainly respond back to the purchasing agent that's listed on that solicitation, or you can get in contact with the small business office. The airport is unique in that we have our own small business office, and pretty much we function as in the city itself, where we have our own small business office that certainly implements the local ordinance, and that being the SAAS program. And we have our own purchasing department, which we have our own purchasing agents there, and they specialize in aviation projects. But what makes the airport unique is that we also have a separate bucket of funds, and that would be the federal funds. Those firms, and ideally for yourself, if you are registered as a DBE, and that's a disadvantaged business enterprise, or an ACDBE, and that's an airport concession disadvantaged business enterprise, we have those opportunities that become available for those firms that can do work out at the airport itself. And then that's how we differ from pretty much every other department within the city, other than Public Works, because Public Works also has funds for the disadvantaged business enterprise. Those funds come from the Department of Transportation through the FAA, and then as the pass-through agency, and then come to the San Antonio Airport. 9 times out of 10, those projects are airfield projects. So anything taking place from construction to runway lights to landscaping could potentially have federal funds attached to it. And those firms that are DBEs themselves, either as a prime or as a sub, are able to participate in any of those solicitations. As I mentioned, we also have airport concession disadvantaged business enterprise. Those, if ideally, hopefully you've come through the airport and you've seen some of the restaurants that we have there, some of the merchandise that we have there. Those firms are either partnered up with primes that are looking for suppliers that are DBEs that can assist them, car rental agencies that need DBEs, airport concession disadvantaged business enterprises. They are looking for those firms and suppliers to help them meet the goals that have been established by us and that have reported up to the FAA. So if you have any interest in becoming a disadvantaged business enterprise, or going through the process of becoming a disadvantaged enterprise, get in contact with myself or Barbara Patton, who's the manager with the Aviation Department Small Business Office, so that we can give you that information and obtain your registration, or obtain your certification rather. The process itself to go through the DBE program and the ACDBE program is quite intense, and it could potentially last from 3 months to 6 months. And then this being the unique circumstances having to deal with COVID could actually add more time to that process. But once you've attained those certifications, then you pretty much can compete in projects that are not only here locally, but also nationally, interstate-wide. So for instance, we have a construction project happening here at the airport. Firms that are registered and housed maybe in Georgia that have the DBE certification, they're able to participate and bid and compete on those projects that we have here in San Antonio. It becomes really important as we are currently going through our strategic planning process. Every about 5 to 10 years, airports, the FAA asks airports to kind of take a look and self-evaluate to find out just where they see themselves in the next 10, 15, 20 years. So we are currently going through that process now. As construction projects are happening right now, when we anticipate, okay, well, we need another terminal, or we would need a larger runway, that strategic plan takes all that into effect or into account, and then develops how we go about in planning for those processes and projects. So right now, I advise those that are interested in becoming a DBE or ACDBE to certainly go through the process now, get together and get your paperwork together and apply for that process, because within the coming months, we will release just what exactly it is that we're looking for and move forward from there. So it puts you a step ahead of those other firms that maybe are still wavering and thinking about, should I or shouldn't I do that? So those are the two buckets of monies that we have potentially. We have the federal funds that are DBE, ACDBE components. Then we have those that are locally through our strategic plan itself. Or excuse me, not the local ordinance itself, sorry. Another unique aspect of the airport is that because we are a city of San Antonio airport, people assume, oh, okay, well, I can just get I can just apply for a position there, or go for any of the solicitations. Unique aspect of our airport is that we are, in as much as we are a city department, we also function under the FAA and the TSA, and we have to abide by those laws, rules, and regulations. So as such, anyone that comes onto the airport as an employee or as a vendor has to go through the badging process. The badging process simply does a background check, and there is a cost associated with that background check. And it goes through and looks to see if you have violated any one of the major laws, rules, or regulations that would prohibit you from getting a secured badge and working on the airport itself. So that's one thing to consider, and not to offer that as a barrier to the airport. It's just simply part of our certification to operate as an airport under the FAA regulations 139. Simply, we have to maintain that security as an airport. So currently we have a fence project going on, and any other airport or any other city department simply, if you're at a library, they consider, okay, a fence is a fence is a fence. No, we don't have that luxury. If there's a breach in our fence, we have to act on it immediately. So we don't have the luxury of waiting to 15, 20 days to look and go about selecting a vendor and getting that done. No, we have to operate and secure that facility and secure that area immediately. So obtaining a badge is one of the requirements there at the airport, and so that's what makes us kind of special, but then also ensures that our public that's flying and utilizing the airport, that we are maintaining the security of the airport itself and the secured areas past TSA. So for those of you that are interested in doing business with the airport specifically, I can give you my contact information, which we should have it there for you, but also I'll say it for you that would like to write it down. My number is 210-207-3826. And my email is Joseph, Joseph .Gonzales, Gonzales, the number 2 at sanantonio.gov, and get in contact with me, and we can register you. We'll send you out a form so that we can register you, put you on our vendor list, so that whenever solicitations come out, you have the ability to see and determine if you want to apply, or if you have more questions about that particular solicitation. You're certainly free to do so, but you can get in contact with me. We'll get to that form, get it filled out, and it's simply, again, being that we have federal funds, City of San Antonio operates under NIGP codes. Federally, for those federal funds, we operate and we look for NAICS codes. So you have to, if you are having difficulty in figuring out, okay, well, which code is applicable to me, get in contact with us. We'll get you through the crosswalk to be able to get to the like federal code to be able to try to match up just exactly the services that we have there at the airport itself.